Hello, my name is Emily, and today I have a special order junk journal to send off, and I wanted to put it up on YouTube so that the owner could get an idea of what her book will look like. And so we're going to start with we had discussions, numerous discussions, and one of them was that she wanted a 3D cover. So I've used an assortment of flowers, not geraniums, well, I just can't say what they are. Gardenias? Yeah, gardenias. And then some other, complementing colors. And I have put right here is a greenish and pinkish scrapbook paper, and then I've put lace on top of that, and then the lace from the green kind of goes with that. It is a really thick book. It's probably, I'm not quite sure, but quite a wide spine. She wants to work in it, so I think that what I need to do is make sure that it's just about 4+ inches. And so I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of space in between the signatures so that the book would open up flat. I put some eyelet and some lace here to open it up. And I'm just going to kind of go over some of the things that I have done in the book to give it its own personality. So to start out with, on the inside, I have put This Book Belongs To. And then this is a Tim Holtz kit that I used for that. And then there's a book that's called, it's a really interesting book here that I thought was really interesting. It's called Know Yourself, and it asks questions. It's kind of like, do you remember the dating game, or how much does your husband know about you, the TV show? And over the years, they would say, what's your wife's favorite flower, or something like that. It's a book of questions. It is a Flow book from Flow magazine. And in fact, today I've got another one that I'm going to be showing you, but two of the two books that I used as an to assist me with this book are Flow books from Flow magazine, or Flow Inc., FLOW. I always, because I have a wonderful thrift store, I can always find samples of cross stitch that people have done and then not done anything with it, and it's usually dirty. I think I had to wash this twice to get to get it nice and clean so that it looks good. I washed it in Dawn and let it soak. This here is a stationery with a quote by Maya Angelou. You can see that I kind of made a little bit of a two pocket, and then I added a heart to give it. I used quite a few pages from various sellers of their digital kits. I'll put that in the description box below. Lots of library cards that I get at my thrift store. She wanted the book to be wider than a normal, 6 by 8 or 8.5 by 6.5. And so I added all of the pages will have another inch, so that the pages could be a little bit wider for her to work with, or at least an inch. So it's a little bit wider than a typical book. Let's see. This book here is 7 inches this way, and 7 plus by 9 plus by 4 is what the whole dimensions of the book are. So I did try to do a variety of things to give the book a little bit of personality, but also a lot of blank pages so that she could work with that. These are some hearts, lavender hearts that I stuck in here, and then this is a little coloring, a couple of little coloring tags that she can work, you know, that would be interesting. And also yo-yos. I have several, I got a couple of yo-yos in here that I think would be good to, would be an extra good, like sort of sewn project that a person could put in their book. And I'm not sure if you know what a yo-yo is, but you take a round piece of fabric and then you fold it around the edge and draw it so that it has then it draws up, and then you put either a button or make it into a flower, or here's just a lot of different suggestions for ideas. So it's called yo-yos. Yo-yos to go is what this is, and that's what I used for these yo-yos here. We used yo-yos a lot in sewing dresses for young girls. Here is a really interesting, because I live close to a scrap kind of fabric art. I've been able to find some really interesting lace, which I added to that. And I've sprinkled a little bit of glimmer mist on a couple of pages. This is an actual, so you can, that's a whole area that she can work with. And this is some Mary Englebright statements that I've sewn together. These, you know, things like this that are not in the public domain, I actually cut it out of the book. And so I've sewn these together to kind of make a little, and of course I can't reuse them once I've cut them up, so I don't make a copy of them. And this is an interesting, different sort of project. It's called Reminders, Reminder Pockets, and you actually take it with you and put it in a pocket. And this is to remember someone or something like throughout the day. And when you put your hand in your pocket, you remember that person. And then there's a little pocket right here that you could actually stick something in, like the name of the person, so that when you're actually putting your hand in your pocket and feeling this, you can remember that person, and also remembering with love. So these are quilted. Got a little bit of lace on it. They're soft so that you could stick them in your pocket. And there's another one of my yo-yos. Some lace trim. This is some washi tape and a deep pocket and a freebie. It's called Expressions Textile, printed on cotton material. And so I thought maybe she could use that. So you can see in between I have 5 signatures here, and in between I've added a huge amount of space, an inch really, so that the person could, she could play around with the pages if she wanted to. This is taking napkins or tissue paper and collaging it on with Mod Podge. This side is an actual quilted project that has come down through my family heritage, if you've seen any of my videos before. But I kind of did a little collage there. And then this is the Beautiful Moments, is a place to, put your beautiful moments, put beautiful moments. And here is the book, the other book from Flow. It's called The Book That Takes Its Time. It's an unhurried adventure in creative mindfulness. And so in here are all kinds of ideas and sayings, suggestions. Here's postcards, here's tags, here's the person that had the book before. This is a used book. The person that had this book before had written something in it. And you can see that I have used some pages because it's got torn spots and just different things. But one of the stories in here was to take the time to make a little tag with, or write down a beautiful moment, and then it said put it in a jar and then take them out later on and you can remember the beautiful moment. So I used all either file folder paper or cardstock quality paper. This is another place for a pocket. This is a quote, and I did some punching. I did some stamping. This is actually Braille paper, which I didn't do anything with that, and mainly it's just the texture of the paper holding it. But I was able to get it through the printer and was able to print this really neat picture on it, which I will again. That's a digital seller on Etsy. This is something else that I found was a whole bunch of scraps of this fabric that was a real thin, and then you could cut around it, or you could just use it as it is as a little a little cluster of embellishment for the book. This is actually where I took 2 envelopes and put a wide piece of paper in between them and sewed them, and then used them as a page. And then this is actual confetti that I found at a thrift store somewhere, that I thought, oh my gosh, this would be really good inside the center of the signatures. And this was at one time a table runner, and I found it at the thrift store, and it was kind of in bad shape. It was at the bottom of the, it was dirty, it had stains on it. But I was able to wash it really well and get out, and I probably got a half a dozen pieces of the embroidery that the person had done on it. Here's another greeting card. More of the Braille paper that has that texture on it. A big belly band here with a handmade flower that I made with music paper and a ribbon, and did a sewing around it. This is a fabric. It's got a piece of cardboard in it. Big tag that goes in there. This is some library pockets. This is a collage of fabric that also has a fabric pocket, and I've got a variety of colors of library pockets. Cards. They're not cards. They're pockets. This is a piece of lace that came off of back in the day when people would wrap it wasn't a scarf, it was actually a collar that they would wrap around their neck. So they would have their dress and it wouldn't have a collar on it, and they would vary the dress with different collars, and this was one that was made with a lot of lace and pearls in it. And then the other side of that, the next signature has, what I did here was I paper clipped. This is actually, oh my goodness, I can't say what this is. Well, anyway, you wrap it around a spindle spool that you, and you make little settings. Then what I did was I put Mod Podge on it, and I then put rubbed it with paraffin, but then just to make sure, I've put this on it, which is a clear plastic wrap that would it'll come to me what this is called. And here is an example of another sample of that lace that is, I bought a huge amount. It came in huge rolls, so I've got lots to use. And so that is just a different design. The first one I showed you was a blue, and this one is more of a pink and green and blue. So I've stuck that in there, but this is actually a belly band. And then this is sari silk. And then I also found these pieces of cardboard that somebody had typed some sentiments on it, and I've started doing it myself. I just take a piece of cardboard and find it and type the sentiment, and then you can put. I did a little doodling right here and stuck it in here. And then for this, the shiny look, I don't know if you can see it. I have used it's called a glitter Mod Podge, and it's a gold glitter. I actually I think you can get it probably on Amazon. I bought it at a Staples kind of store. And this is where I took a piece of clear acetate and I did some painting with Jacquard acrylic paints, and then made it into a pocket. But you could see the design better when it's a white, completely white. This is just a little tag that I put in here that would be good to use, but in a blue lace. But you can kind of see the design. I mean, it was just an all-over design, but it has lots of different colors in it. And then I did some stenciling here and stamping with a leaf stamp. This is where I found this really thin piece of fabric that has big leaves on it, and it's just really easy to cut out and work with. And so I've cut out several of the leaves and have clustered them together, glued them and clustered them together, and made it into a leaf cluster. And then I added some handmade paper flowers that I used old dictionary pages from. And then this is where I have taken a digital Etsy seller buttons tab, and then I added my own buttons to it. And then this is an interesting something that I found at the thrift store, because I live in an area where there's a lot of universities and libraries. This is an old sample. I found a stack of these. It's an old sample from a Peterson's magazine, and I think it says June 1868, so it's actually the original. So the paper was so kind of not in very good shape because it was so old. So I sewed two sheets together and have made so that a person could see, and that's in French. I can't read it, but it does say June 18. And somewhere in pencil, somebody had written Peterson's magazine on it, so that's how I knew that it was a Peterson's magazine. And then there's that little trim there. This is some doodling that I did. This is where I put lace. I have a plastic lace tablecloth, and I put it on the pages and let the sun dry the coffee stained pages, and then I come up with that design. This is more blank pages for her to work with. These are three little little miniature bags that she can use, and I've included here two pockets that she could decide if she wants to use them in here. And this is actually origami paper that I did a fold and came up with it's a double fold. I didn't put anything in this pocket, but it's that pocket and that pocket. So this is another freebie. What this is it's Creative Imaginations, and it's called David Walker Studios. And I got that for, I guess I got it for 50 cents or $1. It says here that it was $1, but it might have been in But anyway, it's a double-sided tag that can be used. This is an old set of keys I found. Some more of the lace, the same lace that's on the outside. Some more of the coffee dyed paper. And then did some more. This is another interesting project. I don't know if you know what these, if you are familiar with a bobby. And what you do is you go around and you make these long tassels. And then this is a pink tassel that I folded together to make a flower. And then I just added leaves around it and made this look like a vine with a flower on the end. But bobbies, we used to do them when we were children. But depending on the thickness of the fabric of the the fiber that you use, like you can tell that is a wool. This is a very thin, so it makes a very lacy looking. So it just depends on what you use in the bobby as to how thick the it comes. So both of these were pretty thin ribbons. So I was able to do that. But interesting. It's called a bobby, and it has this little like crochet needle, and you go around and you lift it up and do it over like so. I'm sure you've seen these before. But anyway, I found it at the thrift store, and I hadn't done it since I was a child. And so I decided that but people make rugs. They've made table mats, place mats, all sorts of things, from them. Here's another where I did a variety of stitching. I did some hand art, did some lace around it, and 2 more little pockets if she wanted to use them on one of her pages. This is where I took a piece of, it's sari silk, but it has been twisted and turned. I actually took some of it apart just to see what it was. But what an interesting piece of yarn, and it would make a great scarf if you lived in cold weather for wintertime. I don't particularly. I only get to wear a scarf maybe a month or 2 out of the year where we live. It just doesn't get cold enough. I mean, it gets cold, don't get me wrong. And then I put some eyelash trim on it. So, and a little bit of, and then this is a handcrafted cloth card that was 50 cents. That's a freebie. And going on to the next. This is another interesting thing that my thrift store had this in, just had a whole bunch of these. And what it is and I'll just take one and open it up. Somebody has given a suggestion for a scrapbook or page layout. And so you see that. And then on the back, it gives instructions. And then it has examples of the types of paper that you could use and pictures of it. And it comes like this, and it was 75 cents. So I stuck a couple of these in there thinking that would be a good thing to use as a spin-off for a project. This is embossed paper with I dyed this doily green and then added a little flower motif from a piece of upholstery fabric. And then this is a tea towel that had a really pretty design on it that was new, that I cut up and used with that. And this is a trading card. Not sure if you are familiar with trading cards. But has been a big business over the years. Trading cards for scrapbook pages. So I had this book, and it had a lot of different ideas for how to do trading cards. And then on the back of the trading card, it tells who made it and where they're from and what the name of it is. This is called Oriental Flavor, and it was done in March of 2007. And it was in my thrift store, just in box. They just had like 100 of these trading cards with different textures and dimensions, so I stuck one of those in. So there's lots of ideas for things to do in thrift, if you can look through thrift stores and find different ideas. Here's another one. This is called Smash Books, and Smash Book pages are, I get all of mine at Tuesday morning, and it's lists, basically. Lists or just conversations, reasons why we get along so well. So that is a sample of favorite person. This is a sample of quotes. So it has different quotes and favorite quotes that you want to write down, and you know, quotes that you want to remember, or quotes that someone said. And this is top 10. So anyway, Smash Books, they're 40. Mine were 49 cents per, and I got them years ago at Tuesday morning, and I've just been using them for little inserts in pockets. So I put some of those in there. Just some really beautiful paper sold on it by Etsy sellers as digital kits. And here's some more of that Braille paper. This is a piece of doily that I thought would be good, and a little sample tag to go with it that I did some zigzag stitching on the, it's a cloth tag. This is just a regular collaged paper where I just sit down and have a really good time picking out fun pages. Usually has a quote in it, usually has pages from a dictionary page. This particular one was a playing card that I added. This was a piece of a hexagon-shaped fabric that I found a bunch of in a bag. This is a handmade flower made out of dictionary pages. Just a lot of fun to put together these different collage pages. And added some pages for doing some journaling on. This is actually, I'm going to have to bend the paper clip. This is a very lacy strip of, and I've added some here. So I thought I would add some here, but I actually think I'm going to paper clip it up here instead of actually to that. But just an extra something to do a little green trim for. I added some butterflies to this butterfly page, and stuck them in here, which they fell out when I undid the paper clip. Did some quotes on there. Another tag in here. This was a piece of wallpaper that I got from an Instagram seller. And then this is a handmade tag where I took a bunch of pieces of strips of paper and sewed them, zigzagged them together, and then added a collage and put some of that Mod Podge on it. So another sheet of the lace tea dyed or coffee dyed. I think it's what I coffee dyed it. More butterflies. And that's it. The last page is just a page full of tags that she could cut out and use. Just trying to do, give her an opportunity to add things that she wants to add, and give just a fun book to play in. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll have my email in the bottom of my in the description box. So we'll talk again soon.